technology. Eswatini TV, sibuko semaswati.
Yet another edition of Monday Temidlalo. Hello and welcome. A beautiful Monday away. Once again, we've got a couple of things cooked up for you as we look at what happened over the weekend and lining up to the upcoming weekend. Otherwise, MTN Masters over the weekend golf tournament was taking place. We just will run through the what took place over the weekend. See the winners. Listen to the winners and see some of the points that took place at the golf course, as we can see from our shots on the screen. A beautiful day. In as much as it was a quite chilly weekend, but golfers turned in their numbers. Otherwise, talking about sporting calls that were in action under darts, we're talking about the Darts Association. They had a league tournament that was ongoing. As you can see, COVID-19 regulations were being followed. We hear from the Secretary General of the association, Subsiso Patches, to tell us about how are they coping as a sporting association. Otherwise, pool as an association as well, they were quite active over the weekend. Champs of Champs, where there were a group of based pool players in the land. They were gathered at the Mbabane Express Car Wash. As you can see there, that is one of the senior pool players in the field, trying to make it a mark. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about what Champs of Champs means. What is the standard of the pool in the country? What does it mean for the entire country as they gear up for international competition next year? Otherwise, for one team, it is all happy, but for another team, it's a sad moment. Young Buffaloes are out of CAF Confederation. They had a chance. They just needed one goal on home soil to proceed to the next stage, but that could not happen as we're playing against Red Arrows from Zambia. As you can see on the screen, that was pictures courtesy of our own team at the Mavuso Sports Center. On the other side, their neighbors, Red Leopards in Zambia, did what they do best. Before they left, Coach Edwin Masibara said whenever they're away, they do good. They represent the country very well. That's what happened. They are into the next round of the preliminary round. Next up is a team from Angola. If they pass that stage, they are all into the CAF Champions League group stages. We cannot wait. That's what being cooked here on the show Temidlalo. I won't be alone. I'll be in the company of our in-house analyst, Linda Lamine, a man with experience, a man with understanding, a man esingasho ukuthi na ukhuluma liqiniso eTenzabeni Tema Sports ukhona. Nguvusele Nkosi.
Ngiyavusela Fabrice angekuthola ukukhulu. Ngivusela wona eMaloya viewers libhola Temidlalo.
Nokukonke vele kwakho master ngoba vele it's you live, you eat, you sleep sports.
Njoba ngisho ukuthi wona ema-loyal viewers but ngivusela wona nje ama-loyal viewers ngicaba ukuthi sinetindzaba letibuhlungu the legend icon ye-golfer, local golfer George Dlamini ushonile nge-weekend sithi madudu kumndeni lotsinzekile mhlambe labanenge aba understand ukuthi George Dlamini ngibani. George Dlamini is the first ever professional golfer lesbenayo la Eswatini, first ever professional golfer
for 15 years as a professional golfer.
15 years as a professional golfer, such that labanenge maswati vele bebangamati abamati but in South Africa now uyalandzelela 2010 wangena ku Hall of Fame in South Africa. Imagine so ngicaba ukuthi emaswati alahlekele kakhulu. In fact ngihlala ngikhala vele ngathi thina emaswati tindzaba tema sports asitinaki kakhulu. Sunshine Tour upostile ku Instagram page labo nabo baveta ku Marvin Vududo ngekulahlekelwa kwakhe George Dlamini South Africa udlalile esikhathile sithi kakhulu bam understand ukuthi uyini. So ngicabanga sinathi ngalelinye lemalanga siyokhumbula ukuthi bamvube ma sports bamcoka kanganani badlala inzima lenganani ku society.
The picture I see on the screen, master So it could be one of the latest. But something that you just mentioned, Master Singasho Gutsi, that has just caught my attention is that this is Sunshine Tour. And when we talk about Sunshine Tour, I mean, best golfers.
Yeah.
You get to see them there.
It's not just your Makufe tournament, your Black Label tournament.
Yes.
It's like the UEFA Champions League.
That's UEFA Champions League.
Yeah.
George Lamine, one of the best golfers we've ever had in the country. 15 years of professional golfer. Born 11 February 1942. Master, we don't say much as a country. Another country takes over, they just make headlines. The man is normal. Of course, condolences to the family, to the friends, to the golf industry, and of course to the sport fraternity. But Master, it's a shame on us, because I think what you're saying is that we need to start acknowledging our athletes, either young, either old, either upcoming, either mid.
Yeah,
I'll give a simple example. Let's not go far. You here seated in the studio. I'm sorry, producer. I'll take these 2 minutes, because if we don't emphasize this, then it's a problem. Master, you get a call from CAF wanting to find out information of what's happening in your country. So in other words, what is CAF doing? CAF is acknowledging your intelligence to say, Master has the understanding to give us a wrap-up comment about what's happening in local football in Eswatini. Here comes us. I'm not pointing fingers. Whatever, Football Association or Premier League, they want to do something. Bamshiyala Master. Bahamba balance specialist ngaphandle. Why do we have a problem of not acknowledging ourselves?
Nalifunza iBhayibheli bathi umprofeti azange sakaza lithola liphumo enzaweni yangakubo. But luckily golf ngicabanga ukuthi bona ba understand that, that's why kutaba ne George Lamine memorial tournament.
Yes.
Yes, letaba khona every year. So ngicabanga ukuthi lenvo le inkulu kakhulu. But ketsine lokusibulala kakhulu mona asithanzi ku celebrate bamvu bakithi, because nyalo nje kutaba na George Lamine memorial tournament bakhona labathu feel offended ukuthi kuna tournament leni mishwe ngamuntu nje. So ngicabanga ukuthi letinvo lethu ugcina ukuthi tiphume because njengoba ngishilo ngathi sport si bamvu labenda sport kudinga ukuthi bahloniphe kakhulu, because they unite society.
A lot needs to be done in our sport industry, as we need to encourage, accept, and celebrate our celebrities in the sporting fraternity. And of course, condolences to the George Lamine family. We say that he was a man of passion. Talk about golf, talk about him knowing how the personal capacity. He has done a lot for the golf industry. Otherwise, moving forward, this was the MTN Golf Masters over the weekend. We'll take a look at some of the highlights, a short montage to show you what happened over the weekend. When we come back, more discussion on the tournament. Beautiful montage, of course, from our production, showing you what happened at the MTN Golf Master over the weekend. Master Singasho, it's a tournament. We entering tournaments after tournament. We had a tournament on the previous week of amateurs. Last week there was a tournament, a mini sort of Kings tournament. They also changed the name to be another tournament. Now we have a MTN Golf Master over the weekend, seeing the shots there, seeing some of the key players that we saw last weekend, the likes of Valentin Mazia making an appearance. What a weekend it was.
What a weekend, Fabrice. Njoba ushito wathi le weekend be weekend cishe be emakhata ibhicene nje vele leti indzawo likhifita, but aphuma ama golfers embabane club ayodlala yona eGalova. Fabrice ndinawubuka le ndlela le standard, because 2 weeks ago besikhuluma ukuthi MJ kwaba nguwinner. Last week kwaba Pennington Jamie,
yes.
Pennington. This week in winner lensha and the winner lo winile, yes. This week Valentin
Mazia, yes.
Last week
khona emva basifetera yona in terms of performance yakhe,
player of the week le performance nje iyodwa. So ngicaba ukuthi le standard kancane siyakhula, siyakhombisa lutho siyakhula. Yes, this time around it was a bit different, because the 2 weeks back beyidlalwa 3 days, last week yadlalwa 2 days,
yes.
Then this MTN Masters lebeyidlalwa khona embabane beyihlukile because beyidlalwa ngama point. So ngicaba ukuthi all the golfers Fabrice atinika sikhatsi atimisela, and nawubuka ukuthi kufike kube tight lama point abe tight kule tournament le between yena Cosmo Mthetho, labanengi bamkhumbula ebholeni Cosmo Mthetho naye Valentin Mazia. But ke in golf ngeke bese sithi a draw, kube draw kule game le abahleplelane noma bathole ama hours bobabili, no, because lena bebadlala 18 hole. True. Shotsi the first 9 not the last 9 wadlala kahle ku the last 9 we are best so by winner Valentin udlale kahle ku last 9. Cosmo uqale kahle first the first 9 limgosling 9 yeqala udlale kahle kakhulu, but Valentin ngicabanga ukuthi ukhomsile ukuthi ibese siyakhula le game yakhe kulo last 9, hence ubese so by winner. But nawubuka ukuthi point 42 banaye Cosmo Mthetho, but ngalo Mthetho waka golf ukuthi kubabete le draw noma kuthiwa nje sithayile sale samba sekhaya.
I wanted to look at some of the names there on the screen, Master, looking at some of the players on the day that maybe singasho ukuthi singabathinza kancane. I think on the top 10 lesicatha kuyibona, I saw the name Welcome Mhlanga, number 7. I think he's dominated. Men singasho ukuthi he's well known, and he's 2 kids I think have also joined at some point. They were champions. I'm seeing the likes of Musishong,
Albert Mavuso.
Sakhuluma nga Cosmo Mthetho, ngiyambona number 2 Master. Engabe smart kakhulu ebholeni, but singasho ukuthi nyalo eGaluveni vele so polishile. So usigabene singasho ukuthi udlalela nje vele ucishe useselenese.
It's a question lengakubuta yona Fabrice ukuthi why the former players, the ex players are running away from ibola. There's a problem, there's kune cancer ngale ebholeni, because ukhuluma ngabo Cosmo Mthetho legends, ukhuluma ngabo Maphanga ebholeni Maphanga ebholeni mhlambi ibhola bayibukela nje, but
these are one of the best goalkeepers that we have.
Exactly.
Taribo Bembe
akasiko involved
asat noma wa retire noma ga retire.
The writing is on the wall. It was madala that one, but ngilengibusho ukuthi lo mbuto loyo ukuthi ngakuthi bani bebhola bake bahlale phansi ukuthi lalamanye ama sports and yinda le yenda kahle, because Cosmo ukugaluva nje wenda kahle kakhulu. The previous week wa perform wacishe kule tournament le invitational tournament wadlala kahle nakhona, but asesitibutena sebatibutela bambebhola ukuthi konakelepi.
A lot has to be answered when it comes to this question. What is pushing former players? We've seen other countries, when a former player is there, he has to be an ambassador, an administrator at some point. Taribo Bemba, as we speak, he's not near football. I'm not selling him out. Talk about tech ball, he's involved. Talk about golf, he's involved. Cosmo Mteto is making headlines. Let's listen from his interview here in the company of Valentin Mazia after the win. He was number 2, Valentin Mazia was number 1. What was the reaction between of the two golfers on the day? Listen to them.
Personally, I feel good. I'm number 1, or I'm also number 1, so yes, it was the count back like you mentioning, so yes. But nonetheless, yes, it's just sports. I'm a sports person, so yes, I appreciate what happened, and yes, I had a good game, so yes, the outcome was just that he had to beat me with the count back, but yes, bought 42, so yes, that's just how it is.
How does it really feel?
I'm okay.
Have you won this tournament before? And if not, you're too close today. How does it feel?
The elusive one, I'd always say that, the elusive one, man, today I thought I was closer home, but yeah, it still remains elusive, and I'm going to try harder every other day until I get it. I have the SRIC, and this is the elusive one, like I said, so I'm still going to work harder and harder. I practice more now, and the game is just showing.
We had the advantage to find you on the golf course at number 8, and I think you missed a putt there. Do you think that miss is the one that cost you the points to become a champion today?
I'm sure that's exactly that one, because unfortunately every time Taribo comes through, I have to drop a point. So that becomes unfortunate. And again, I was just on top of my game until Taribo came. But so yeah, I've learned to live with that, and until I adjust to that. So yeah, we're going to keep it that way. So yes, I think that's the point that really cost me, but not just that one only. It's just the other ones where I just lapsed a little bit. But yeah, going forward, golf is on my side, and I'm happy about today's performance. As you know, my mind was clear. Everything, you know, it's personal, because golf is very personal. If your mind is not clear, then you're not going to make it. So personally, business-wise, and just relatively anyway, I'm okay. I'm in a good space.
Talk about being a good space. My last question is that which hole or holes do you think you played best? Did you get any birdie, any eagle?
Okay, the longer ones were relatively okay, but I think it's the shorter ones that really cost me today, because I always come underprivileged on those ones. But yes, it's just the shorter holes. But the rest I was okay. I was on regulation time every time I came through. So yeah, I think overall I'm happy.
Thank you, Cosmo. Unlucky for not being the winner today.
It's only getting better.
Yeah, ngathi ngijabule kakhulu, especially because I was playing in a football la khona bekudlalwa mbamba, seriously. So I think I enjoyed winning today. Well, I wouldn't say bekulanga lam, but I would say kulamalanga, like I would say for the 2 weeks kwaba ne open, kwase kuba ne tournament where it was a pro-am. I think ngidilungisele kahle, so I think sengiwe ama results alo dilungiselela.
Namhla sitholile uchipa down ufaka ibhedi, ungasitshela nje ngale bhedi yakho lefaka namuhla.
Yes, I think it was a chip down, go par 3. Like I'm saying, I think it comes from good lungiselela. Like my chipping has really improved because ngidineketa skhatsi te seku lungiselela game yami. So whatever is happening la mabedi, even the chip down is part of lokhu lungiselela kula maviki laphelile. Yeah, ndawuthi yeah, bengiyo a big hitter. But I think the youngsters are coming up, and akusafana nasekuqaleni la khona becishe sonke isikhathi kube ngimi. But yeah, I still hit long.
Congratulations once again.
Thank you so much.
beautiful stuff from the two golfers, of course, having achieved what they achieved. That was Valentine Mazia over the weekend. Had a beautiful game in the company of Cosmo Mteto, former beautiful defender that we had in the country, and I think at his time, Master was the best. So talk about him now as a golfer. He's giving you that option to say you need to give yourself focus. Maybe next time the question will be there: why Vele you run away from football? And when you're playing it, it looked like it was passion. So we know. What's your reaction to the words of the two golfers, Master?
Ikakhulu amagama akhe yena Valentine Mazia ukuthi utilungiselele every tournament iketsinga ukuthi utilungiselele if awufunzi lutho ku the previous tournament lo idlalile then ngicabanga ukuthi kuba nenkinga kulamanye that birdie ngicabanga a beautiful birdie from yena Valentine lemgetele ma point ngicabanga ukuthi naye usho kule bedile na ukuthi utilungiselele practiceile attende kule tinvo ngemiracle ngihlale ngikhuluma ngaloko ukuthi ngayona ipractice but ngicabanga ukuthi igame yakhe improveile kakhulu njoba sishilo ukuthi last we look at that. Look at that. Beautiful stuff from yena Valentina banaye Cosmo ngicabanga ukuthi yena umoshwe that shot laba kakhuluma ngayo ambuta yona Taribo but ngicabanga ukuthi le competition between the two ngicabanga ukuthi itawukhula because Cosmo uyambona ukuthi ngathi akasikho convinced lokuthi akawini yena enhlitweni yakhe utiva nayo le short le ngicabanga ukuthi imende ukuthi ema point akhe agcine alingene wakhe eValentina but otherwise ku next tournament but bobabili batawu pick up hopefully awin Cosmo because ngiyambona ukuthi inhlithu yakhe ayikenele.
Wow, beautiful stuff. Enough with golf. Heading to darts now that was playing over the weekend. But the quick one before we talk about darts, Master, there's something that I think has been trending since since over the weekend. Our top athlete Subsiso Matsenjwa now has been nominated as chairperson of the athletes. Congratulations in order for Subsiso Matsenjwa on being elected as the chairperson of the National Athletes Commission. The commission established on the 17th of September 2021. The responsibility of the chairperson is amongst to represent all athletes countrywide at the National Olympic Committee. The rest of the members making up the executive committee athletes commission are Darren Dunn for cycling, who is the vice chairperson, Pumli Denziniza from athletics, Simanga Dlamini from swimming, and Tabiso Dlamini from boxing. So when they say someone is a chairperson of the National Commission, Master, I think Ngogwa would say whenever Pumile was the presenter, they have that sort of responsibility. So captain very
yes, commission itabe ibuketo na letinza batela ma athletes Fabrice siyambongela yena Sibusiso Matsenjwa even the level phelile asale ngikuhleplela nje ukuthi naka tech ball bakhetha ke I referees commission bakhetha I committee chairperson wakhona Lindiwe Dlamini vice nguvile Magongo bese kuthi mabhalane ngikwazi Dlamini then member ngusenzo Motha nayo ke committee yaka referees commission ka tech ball.
Wow, beautiful stuff. Of course, we had to bring it to you that since it's all about telling you what's happening in the world of sport. So thank you very much. Congratulations once again to Subsiso Matsenjwa as the new chairperson of the National Athletes Commission. Now, moving on, darts was heating up at Lozit over the weekend. Talk about darts, Master. It's another sport. They be affected kakulu as COVID because I think one would say maybe when you look at it, Master, bukhona yini bungoti vele bokwazisa licwane ngale sport.
Before sifike lapho Fabrice idarts league beyisolo ichubeka nakusuna kubuya nje imidlalo babuya bona bachubeka bebadlalela ke lapha kaLozitha esikolweni benelihola nje bebalisebenzisa. Unfortunately kule weekend lesuka kuyo abakakhona kulisebenzisa lelo holo lelo kodwa ke bamvu bedarts ngekufuna ukuchubeka kudlala because ileague yabo kumele ichubeke base basebenzisa ema class because uyabona nje lo muntu ubuta ukuthi le setup kunjani bachubekile because bafuna ukuchubekisa ama games badlalile futhi badlala kahle but bebadlalela emaclassini njoba ngisho ukuthi bachubeka so far I team lenda kahle noma lehamba phambili ngiyo iMalkens lesese number 1 lengicaba ukuthi iyakhombisa kuba consistent otherwise ema games abo achubeka kahle and kude mhlambe nemsinjwana lesike sayiva lamanye ama leagues ayathi asachubeka kube nekhala lokuningi kakhulu kube nama protest but ngala kadathi kusede lesikuvile
talking about nothing of trouble from the association. So Patches is the association secretary general. He has more information is how are they coping under the current conditions, what is the calendar looking like for them heading to 2022, and what can we expect from the association and the teams at large. So Patches from the association.
Kuyadlaleka emateam akhombisile kuphakamisa kakhulu nekuhlonipha imithetho ye COVID-19 so sesibuyile sasiyedlala nje kahle kakhulu expect ukuthi tabiphelile by next year March labasalida nyalo iMalkens basengake badliwa ke vele balanzelwa sivutha lesembidlana kancane kuma games nyalo bese kulandzela iEcohort. So those are the top 3 teams la khona kulamalanga. Best expect iMalkens Open tournament as Malkens le attract even Darts players from outside the country more especially on region 5 but due to COVID-19 nalokuthi sisazama ukuthi sishape kahle everything to be in place ipostpone bekufuna idlale nyalo ngaOctober so we looking forward for other tournaments lesingaba nawo njengabo President's Cup. Seyenyuka iqale at a lower level but nje nyalo seya pick up sesiyangaba ngcono and sesiyejwayela because labanye basengajwayela ukudlala bafaka imask full time but now sesiya adapt to the new system yekudlala.
That is Subsiso Badges, the Secretary General of the Darts Association, just giving us an overview of how things are looking for the association. Not only the sport that was active, there is also other sporting codes that were active. Pool, for instance, under the Champs of Champs tournament that was sponsored by Electronics Cash, the Mbabane Express Car Wash, as you can see, Champs of Champs. It's a sort of Champions League where master best players gather for a tournament. And I think now from what we're seeing on the screen, some of the best players available on the day.
Yes, Fabrice, tournament Champs of Champs. Baby kubeka nge-weekend. Labe seyifike emaphethelweni ayokhona. Tournament lebe sponsored by Electronics Cash. Sponsorishe nga 11,000 emalangeni. Ngicabanga sithi invo leto lekumele sikhuthathe tinvo letinhle. Idlalile ke Fabrice including bona players Van der Vaart very very good player, very passionate.
Yes, Elvis Van der Vaart.
Van der Vaart, I still remember him asesemncane game room acaqala ukudlala pool so I'm happy nala kuphula ukhulile including nabo bonathi esihlongonyane lo gcine ayuwina ahamba naye 5,000 emalangeni. It's a good thing. I'm happy more especially kule mali because imali motivation ngeke bese soyakubalekela lokho yinvo leyenda ukuthi lama players abe motivated. That's a shot from yena Elvis. So ngicabanga ukuthi Fabrice even nale level uyabona lo sicha lama shots ayashaywa impela nema players lamancane njoba ngishilo ngathi yena nathi sihlongonyane young player but kuneng naye ukhulele khona kupool kuneng la sakufunzile.
Quite interesting, Master, because even Elvis at some point we're going to listen to him. Elvis Van der Vaart was playing against Slongonyane and then he said I'm playing against the young men but you can see the talent in the young man for the sport. He's well groomed. He played for a big club like Correctional, but playing with him, he could see that there's something coming from this young man. Now we're just going to listen to them. Maybe we'll come back and interact more. There's also the chairperson of the Mbabane zone. That is Babetwara, is also going to tell us about the standard. Dlamini just touched on the standard, Master touched on the standard, so we're going to talk about the standard and the players themselves. What are they feeling? This was Champs of Champs. What is the standard looking like? How far is it going, and where do they want to take the sport as some of the best put players of the country? Listen to them.
I wouldn't say we have had problems la Mbabane Kawash specifically, because this has been operational for the past 6 years, if I'm not mistaken. But we had challenges in the whole regional pool league as a whole. Teams were not pulling together. There were court cases, but all of a sudden, in fact, as early this year, there has been a look at Lusha, and we agreed to iron out the differences. So everything is running smoothly. The league is operational, which is a whole regional pool association. That is where I am in charge of the match records and my fixtures and everything. La Express Kawash, we have been playing corner. There have been many tournaments that we have held here over the past 6 years, because this is the game room. Labantwana bavumelekile, and sinelabanye asikhona idlala lapho kunenzawo lapho kunetshwala khona nangeligwayi khona. We prefer to come over here. So it has been running, but it's not the head of ukuthi kumbe kurana kwayo sekusho ukuthi was fine. No, besifike sibalekele khona sichaze sidlale, because we were starved of pool. But now everything is running, and this is a big venue in Mbabane. It hosts most of the games that in Mbabane, the Mbabane Express Kawash.
Yeah, nangibuka nje kubuka kwami le ndlela le game lengayo nje manje kuyakhombisa ukuthi kudlala ama-champion, not ukuthi mhlawumbeni kunalo week kunalo munye, because it's a tough game kuwonke bonke. Lo yena akathola ithuba uyacetha. No, because now uthola ithuba uyampanisha lo munye indlela yekudlala le kuwina ema-champions.
Ngicabanga ukuthi lokukahle ukuthi sibe nawo lama tournaments la njengalawo, bese ke maybe big companies like Jesimunye, MTN basifande sitokhola ukuthi si improve like nje tiponso, sokukhuluma tiponso basponsorishe as individual ukuze sitaw improve kangwane.
Cha abadlali lizinga lepholi actually in Swaziland liyathuthuka. Lese kushoda nabakithi seyi support lengudlwana nasibuka bomakhelwane bethu eSouth Africa lizinga selisetulu kakhulu liphakeme. Sizama ukuthi nathi singuSwaziland noma singuEswatini sizama ukuthi manje sibase kahle siformishe a very good base yokuthi ipool kangwane iqale nayo ithuthuke, so that nayi talent lensha lesiyibonako njengala iledlala lamva kwami njenyalo sikhone lokuthi ithole isupport enough to go represent live internationally, ngoba ipool asifuni ukuthi kube nje sport salesidlalwako ngilabo labakhonile. Sifuna ukuthi ikhone ukuthi ithi to outreach lemakhaya bantwana labahleli bangasebenzi, bantwana labasamele kuyosebenza, nebantwana lothola ukuthi abakakhoni ukuthola ichance yokufunda bakhona ukuthi batilibatise phinze lokuba kubone kuyindlela lengabenda kusasa baphile.
Beautiful stuff from the pool players gathered at the Express Kawash in Mbabane over the weekend, telling us how the standard is beautiful and is growing and it's becoming one of the best. Master, it's quite interesting. Let's Bugaramanyima Sporting Court, where they want to be. They just need support. being active, they're active. Golf, we can't even talk about them. Support, they have them. They have the passion and everything. You look at pool, you look at the likes of darts, and with these sporting codes, we have the possibility and the capability of going out there and be the champions.
For Chris, ngicabanga sina ubuka kakhulu bese kulomnyaka lephelile sibone ipool yakamanzini under sifundza sakamanzini nyalo basembabane sibaqatulule inkinga tabo emacembi incumbi asakhokhile so ngicabanga ukuthi Fabrice bakhuluma ngetimvo letimcwa kakhulu especially Elvis ukhuluma ngema sponsors ukuthi they need more sponsors abasponsorishe ukuthi kutawunyuka lelizinga lalokudlala because vele aku out Fabrice ukuthi indaba ngumdlali mine wepool yes lo munye ungacaba ukuthi ngiyadlala nje for ukujabulisa but indaba ngumdlali wepool ngisuke engwenya everyday ngidodlala embabane because ngifuna ku improve nje bola no ngiyayidzinga le mali ekwetha nangisuka le Oshuk imali egibela nangisuka le Oshuk so ngicaba ukuthi vele ema sponsors adzingakala sikudzinga ukuthi ke le association yabo bothwala bahambe nyalo batholele sponsorship sa 12,000 nyalo sikudzinga ukuthi ba sponsorishe ileague litawurana cishe lo 6 months 8 months nakhona imali yakho ibukakala like bendile kamanzini kule le team lephumile yabo umuntu bakhonile ukuthi babe nema sponsors bakhonile ukuthi ba brand ema teams badlali bagcoka kahle so sikhathile ukuthi nalambabane lokusebacotelele inkinga tabo ukuthi basifolele so sponsor lista sponsorisha ileague even nalama teams babagcokise bende konke
a quick one on sponsors master because in my view nasifuna kuba fair and if you want the sport to grow in my view sakhuluma ngabo 10,000 master it's just to show that the sport will grow slowly. In my view, let's talk about a sponsorship of 100,000. At least 100,000. The winner can be able to pay rent. The winner can be able to do something. Where the winner walks away with 10,000, 11,000. The winner gets 5,000. We are appreciating. We're not saying electronic was wrong. They did a good job. That's what they can afford. Electronics, cash, beautiful stuff. That was a good. But let's improve the sport. Let's get spenders. Let's get sponsorship.
Okay,
where people can put
I know labanye batotsi ngihlale ngiba harsh kulamanye ma sponsors. But for a start because anti bebaqala ukuba sponsorisha. Faka lo 11,000 bona ukuthi i-tournament yakho batayichuba kanjalo lo sponsorishile. Inaki iranile yaba kahle yaba smooth. Then faka 25,000. As uyabona iyakhula uyahamba umfake lo 100,000 then lapho sekuqhamuka nebadlali labe bangacabanga ukuthi itawugcina kufikela faka lo 100,000 uyibona competition iyenyuka uyahamba kutanala lamanye ama sponsors because abona ukuthi le nto iyakhula so ngicabanga ukuthi for a start bekukahle lo because vele bethi khona letinkinga I want to believe ukuthi nale sponsor besafuna kubuka ukuthi letinkinga tabacedulule embambayini lo msindvo kusuke na kubadlalile kwaba ne winner 5,000 namthola yahamba naye ekhaya so ngicabanga ukuthi lamanye ama sponsors ngikhasa ukuthi kenyalo ato sponsorisha yona igalova yesifundzeni sakawo.
We're not saying don't sponsor football anymore, don't sponsor golf anymore, don't sponsor basketball, any of the sporting code. They also need the attention. So just let's spread the sponsorship to different clubs so that where the talent is identified, we are quick to expose those association. Pool as an association, they once had a player who was invited for a pool World Cup in France, but the player did not go because there was no one to sponsor the trip. That's how we need to support these associations. Otherwise, moving forward, two CAF envoys, Young Buffaloes and Royal Leopards, were in action over the weekend. One team was away, that was Royal Leopards, and the other team was on home soil. Master, quick one. When the two teams started with preparations and we knew they are going to Zambia, in your view, did you think Buffaloes was the team to be knocked out?
Ngokhuluma iqiniso Fabrice iYoung Buffaloes ngicabanga ukuthi bekuyithi bengibelieve ukuthi omabili atawuchubeka but i-team lebengibeke etulu bekuYoung Buffaloes nawubuka ema opponents labe badlala nawo nalokuthi bona balithola ligol away so kimi bengicabanga ukuthi ekhaya but awukhona ukuthi balishaya lo goal unfortunately iYoung Buffaloes ayakhona ukuthi ikore ligol ekhaya yaphuma ke ku CAF Confederations Cup lengicabanga ukuthi bona for the past 3 years 4 years bakhonele ukuthi bendlule esigabeni sekuqala this time around abakakhona ukuthi badlule esigabeni ngicabanga ukuthi nakhona lapho dinenge le timvu labatfunzayo because uyafunza kuma positives ufunza kuma negatives dinenge le timvu labatfunzile ukuthi kumcwa kanganani ukuthi nawukorile away ubuye ukore ekhaya or nawukorile la ekhaya just like Royal Leopard uhambe ukora away so konke le timvu leto parts again yena coach Young Buffaloes une season ngikhatha cithe isizini full season ang head coach wayo iYoung Buffaloes so angeke bese soba harsh kakhulu kuye and nawubuka ukuthi na first game igame lebemele bayiwine bekusele badlali bakhe and his top scorer Pio Dlamini akekho so ngicabanga ukuthi dinenge le team voleti contributile kule game le ukuthi angakhona kuyiwina but njoba ngishile ekucaleni ukuthi kunengela la kufunzile
it's not a very tricky team so ngisho ukuthi they played against but if you could see the gameplay the absence of Pure you could see that now master there was a lot of controversy when this team came if you remember because narokunye lesinye isikhathi ukhanza ukuthi kuya contribute kakhulu as you can see from the action there are mind games before the games you know and I think it's something that I don't know how we should put it master because it should not affect our teams because I don't find it proper to say a team has landed then once the team has landed so the focus is on how they got here and what they came to do they came in the Air Force plane I mean Zambian Air Force.
Yeah.
So this team is sponsored by Zambian Air Force because I had a talk with the communications officer. The team is sponsored by Zambian Air Force. So kufana ukuthi umbutho Eswatini bane indiza yabo. So ukuthi okay Young Buffaloes yekudlala eZambia. Okay yini bangasele basebenzisa indiza yakhona ngoba vele i-team yasekhaya UDF angithi. So that's the whole story about nendiza kufika kwayo. But nasekufika and then I think we should must understand ukuthi nasekubikwa ukuthi betenjani they landed how and everything we are creating something psychological kubadlali beBuffalo sibakelana ingcove kanje because kukhuluma ukuthi indiza yeteam injani why do we have to do that
okay
we don't have to do that it's a football game
I think
angizangibone iReal Madrid ifika bathi iReal Madrid namuhla ihlale moyeni for 24 hours
Fabrice asangikuchazile nawo because sine la kwecala vele beyita yakha le headline bani batsinga ku Tengsel Pep 1 number 2 kukhona mina invona ngabe ifika ingajwayeleke yenteka kukhona etsenele sifundisa kona because if our teams atawuhamba atravel emgwaqweni ngebus asukela eJozi afike eJozi angikhatha gibela how many hours from Eswatini to eJozi then from Jozi to Zambia so angathi noma uyangiva ukuthi ngithi mina lalabaye sisinakela ukuthi bete ngendiza yani asikanakela ukuthi bete ngendiza lengeke baze bakwendeke bahambe pass laba hamba khona pass from Skupe to labe balele khona but sine asikuboni konke lokho so ngithi mina once sa focus kule team voleti positives ngesikhathi ibhola yethu ichubekele yaphambili bese ke Fabrice unako solvetile lokuthi ngeke nikudlale inzima la phela eteamini a structured team you need bonke labantu labo if kune physiotherapist kunabo dokotela kunabo assistant coach why not a psychologist badlala every game itanale nama challenge more especially ama games as Africa attack intimidator dinenge letinto letakufaka so uyadzinga lokuthi labadlali not just a coach yes a coach utak motivator but you need umove lo professional ahlale nebadlali phansi yabona nje nyalo i-Real part iwinile against Zesco ichubekile against Zesco the players sekunenge latingcombe intabo la sebatshelwe kona lalaba lokho nje lo mdlalo ucongratulatiwe udzinga ke hlala naye pass okay pressure ayingakufakeli ukuthi imbabane solos ifikile kuma group stages yes ngakumotivate ngako konke but uyadzinga lo muntu otawuhlala nama players lo professional understand ingqondo yemumvu ukuthi lesigaba lesi badzinga ini so naleti indiza konke lokuthi bafike ngani udzinga ukuhlala nabo labadlali phasi ubachazele ba understand le situation.
Beautiful pictures of course from our team at the Mavso Sports Center over the weekend. The game ended not of course, which means that you know the team Red Arrows had to progress due to the advantage of having scored 2-1 in the first game at home on home soil. So having played a draw here at Mavso Sports Center, so the road ends there for them, so they won't be proceeding at the CAF Confederation. On the other note, the heroes of the country, Real Leopards. Now there is so maturity, Master Ukumengayo, in the first game against Zesco. Now to talk about the maturity about the likes of Matska, we talked about some of the key players. Now Babuga, they have been with the team. Some of them are still playing, and they were with the team that won 3 titles in a season, in consecutive leagues. So these Real Leopards, what's your expectation, Master? They are playing a team from Angola in their next encounter.
Yes, they are playing Zagranda, Esperança, Dalunda, Nota.
Yes,
a team from Angola. But for Real Leopards, Fabrice, nangibukela le game. Is a square 20 penalty. Yathi nayithola ipenalty iZesco and ngawe ma officials eZesco from Emma Stearns. Then I heard a voice yinye from Eswatini lakhuluma lathi Mponyo sethembe wena indala uthume ngakho and nakushaya penalty layer engqondweni yami ngiyamkhumbula Mponyo ku first game athola i performance man of the match performance. Second leg away kwafika Senzomeyiwa Lumbumbashi nabadlala ne TP Mazembe wayesave penalty Mponyo ngicaba ukuthi these two games Mponyo ngamnika 9/10.
Is in the currently best keeper in the country.
In fact, 9.5/10. For me, yes.
He's currently the best player in the
support nje naga uploader ima performances abo goalkeeper bethu with the 2 goalkeepers. Ngicabanga ukuthi kuhle kakhulu ngishilo earlier on exen ukuthi nawubuka yena Mponyo indlela la be patient ngayo ku Real Leopards wahlala ebenchini waba focused yangavuvukile enhloko uyabona nokuthi afune kuhamba wahlala waba focus. Ngicabanga ukuthi itonke letinvo lethu and singamkhohlwa Mphikeleli sinike credit because usebentile na Mponyo sikhathi lesithe ku Real Leopards and goalkeeper coach wakhe nyalo. So ngicabanga ukuthi itonke letinvo lethu to contribute but yonke le team ye-Real Leopards ubuka Junior Makakula for me play of the season ukorile away walithola lelo goal Sifiso Mathe wonderful performance khona away. So ngicabanga ukuthi le team ye-Real Leopards lena ikhulile iyabonakala ukuthi ikhulile now bayodlala ne team yase Angola nje njengoba sengishilo kuthi iAngola for me nje iyona iGDS Esperança yase Angola ingaphasi kweZesco because iZesco wonderful team, wonderful club. Yes, ayadiwa kakhulu but abangahambi bayikhobos. They need to plan preparishe. Ngicabanga ukuthi coach Edwin Matebula is one of the most underrated coaches la khona local football. A very, very good tactician.
What have you learned from him, Master Naumbuga Matebula? Because Naumuva Kuluma, because the confidence, he has the confidence. The interview he said last figure we wanted to protect the goal we had.
Yeah.
And then we have it and we knew ukuthi banjani. But what type of coach is he? Nambuka nje on a personal capacity.
Ngicabanga ukuthi coach Edwin ngokuqala I character yakhe badlali baba khona lokuthi bakhulumisana naye the other day besikhuluma naye akhuluma ukuthi Junior Makagula kukhona lapho khona kwafika isikhathi aba frustrated adlala kahle ku league angayitholi player of the month but as a coach, because as a coach umbabe futhi uyabona motivate ama players so wambita wahlala naye pass kutshela something ke lokho I remember iCameroon nayi wina iAfcon the last AFCON labayiwina coach wakhona lapho bekathi badlali bakhe labadlali babangani la kuye babubhuti la kuye lokusho ukuthi yonke lento singayicoca as much as nasengifuna lo msebenzi wami ngawufuna kodwa thine nawe sibangani siyakhona kusherishelana inkinga tethu so ngicabanga ukuthi yena bese sesidakule philosophy yakhe lapha ekase groundini ngicabanga ukuthi uthi tena ke fika nje ku Royal Party labanye badlali bakhanzile including bona bo Junior including nabo bubungane but wayishintsha completely style of play so Royal Party passing game bayidlala nyalo bayocala away khona Angola mhla ka 15 October but away ngicabanga ukuthi if they can get that one goal then umsebenzi utaphelile because lakhaya atalitholi.
Sagrada Esperanza is not one of the really tough or famous team in Angola, because you look at the likes of Deportivo de Luanda. This is the team that played against Bafana Swallows, if you remember, Master. The game, I think if you ask Mandla Palma as a defender, he got injured. He's never been the same since that day. So I think it's not a team that would say that is so much potential, but the fact that they are here, it means they're strong. So they shouldn't but
ke Fabrice nakhona bengikhuluma ne journalist yakhona emini kuthi ayiwakore magoli amanengi yona iSagrada Esperanza kule top 4 bona by the lowest the top 4 kuleague yakhona ba number 1 yes but kule top 4 bakore emagoli amancane kunawo yonke lama teams lang 42 goals so ukutshela something lo ukuthi if Royal Leopard the goalkeeper and the defenders bangadlala ngalendlela labadlala ngayo then ingaba frustrated yona iSagrada Esperanza because emagoli mancane labawashaya.
Now, this is one game away from CAF Champions League group stages. I think there is issue of clarity, Master. Are they left with 2 games? Are they left with 1 game? What we know is that once we enter the group stages, CAF, in assistance for your travels and everything, there is a carrot they give you. And I think it's been making headlines today to say 8 million away from what. It is a game left before they go to the CAF Champions League group stage.
Forget about the money. Forget about the money. Imali Fabrice nasokulesigaba lesi yes imali ngishilo ngathi iya motivate abadlali but nasokulesigaba lesi history lo funa kuyenta kulesigaba lesi because the last team imbabana solos nayifika ama group stages wonke umuntu ukhuluma ngeMbabane solos ifika ama group stages imagine iRoyal Party fike this group of players bafike kuma group stages batohlala bama legends eRoyal Party yes labanye sebatakhele leligama but kufika ku group stage CAF Champions angikhuluma mhlambe Confederations Cup
angikhuluma
ngeCOSAFA ukuthi
CAF Champions
ngikhuluma ngeCAF Champions League lothi na ufike kuma group stages 8 million so ngicabanga ukuthi le record leyo iyohlala kubadlali be Royal Party even nakule club ye Royal Party.
Beautiful stuff. Of course, I wish the team all the best in their preparations. The first leg to be announced, of course, on the weekend of the 15th. It's going to be a beautiful one. Leopards, we need all the support, the players and everything. Now, there's too many things that we have to consider. The league is coming. Should they maybe given a chance, or a league is a proper way maybe to to line up their preparations? They need to be involved in the league while maybe they're preparing for their game. But at the end of the day, they need the country support master who would say but to the next stages, because if you remember, like you said, Bafana Swallows, at some point some of the players like Scully, at some point they were considered among amongst the best in the region and everything because of just being the CAF Champions League.
And it might happen, Fabrice, ku second leg game yero part. Ngwendeka, I'm not saying ukuthi dinvuleta wende ngwendeka fans abasavunyelwe stadium if bantu batawuchubeka bajove ngetinombolo elisetulu kakhulu because ngalesine iPLE itawuqala icampaign kutsata wona fans ukuthi ajove
ngicela ujova master.
Yes, ngijovile phela I always lead by example. Yes, ngijovile and nakuthiwa abantu laba ungena stadium bajovile nami ngiyoba ngilabanye babo.
Oh, so ujove ukuthi nathi bathi ama stadium.
No, not only that. Ngijovele ukuthi ngifuna ukunciphisa lamathuba ekuthola le COVID-19.
A man who is leading by example. Thank you very much, Linda Dlamini, for being with us. What a weekend it was. We can't touch on international page. Time is against us. But he's a man of his word. What he tells us is what's going to happen in the near future. Now, Master Sivalis.
Ngibonga mina Fabrice, ngibonga kakhulu wona eMaloyal viewers la hlale anjalo aloyal kithi singumsakazi weSwatini TV siliboye ihlelo li Temidlalo nato tonke tinhlelo nje Temidlalo eSwatini TV.
They have it. If you didn't get a chance to get the full edition of the show, go on your YouTube channel and do subscribe, and you get sure that you always get a notification once the program loads. Otherwise, for those who are in the comfort of your seat watching us through Skuchane, it was a lovely moment being with you. And until we meet again as a team, as a crew, as a station, Sitaragamnas.